You know, sometimes the simplest of add-ons for Microsoft Flight Sim are the best. So if you look at my map and look throughout the North Sea and see all these points of interest and heliports, you might think we've got an exception to the rule. A big thank you to Aerosoft for giving me exclusive preview access to their Offshore Landmarks North Sea project. An add-on that in many ways is very close to my heart. Let's get right into this video. Okay, so as you've already seen in some of the starting footage, you can kind of work out what this payware add-on by Aerosoft does. It basically adds hundreds, if not probably close to thousands, of points of interest, landmarks, etc. structures in the North Sea and even the Irish Sea and parts of the Atlantic. Now first off, let me explain my vested interest here. If you didn't know, I currently work at an airport somewhere on the east coast of England. And about 50% of my day job involves me working with offshore helicopters, loading up guys who are going away to maybe somewhere on your screen right now. So that means when I got this email about this add-on, I could not wait but to take a look at it. Now just zooming into the North Sea, you can see, especially near the Netherlands, we've got plenty of points of interest. You know, coming back over to the east coast of the UK, many down there, and then coming back down to the Netherlands, you can see we've got clusters. It doesn't just stop there, coming over to the Irish Sea, there's already plenty in there. And then Norway is no exception as well, all the way up here, we've got plenty of new points of interest. But what is it? Well, they're oil rigs, they're boats, they're wind farms, they're ships, they're basically everything in the North Sea, and I really mean it. Now just swapping over to a helicopter so you can see how many heliports you've got. You can see, it does show us some more stuff to be fair, but look at all these. Basically all the heliports are oil rigs or wind construction sites that can support helicopters. So it's the perfect add-on if you use helicopters in Microsoft Flight Sim. Of course, they've been released with Sim Update 11. Now I'll confess, I'm pretty rubbish at piloting them, especially off these bad boys in gale force winds. It's almost impossible, but doesn't mean it isn't possible. I've done it a few times, and blast me, it's good fun. Now, I'm not the most skilled pilot out there in any way, shape or form, so I'm sure many of you will be able to fly off these oil rigs better. But just taking a closer look at them, seeing as we're here, they're pretty well detailed, and seeing as there's hundreds of them, that's very impressive. And to be fair, they're not all the same, they're not all copy and paste, so you can't really be thinking that. Some of them have been customised more than others, admittedly, especially with the bigger oil rigs. The sort of main ones, they have got a name, I should know it, I have to do it for a day job, but I've forgotten it off the top of my head. We'll be going through the manual in a moment, which basically talks about that anyway. But yes, swapping over to boats as well, you can see here in a C-17 we've got plenty of ships, ferries, smaller tugboats, that sort of thing. Now I will admit boats aren't really the point you should buy this for, seeing as there's already freeware out there that will be able to sort you out there. But when this is released on Xbox, and I can't say why it wouldn't be, then that will be a great alternative, or at least the first choice you've really got for adding boats into the North Sea if you fly around here a lot. Now just to run some statistics from the Aerosoft team, who provided a very clearly written document about this, we've got a whole list of stuff. So we've got 388 new heliports in the North Sea and surrounding ocean. Most of those will be oil rigs, but not all. 196 new airports under ICAO codes. I would imagine heliports sort of blend into that, but I'm not too sure. 78 new non-directional bearing stations, which is good for navigation. Although, of course, if you use an external software like Navigraph, they've probably been put in anyway. 741 new ships with helidecks or winch locations. Now, I'll confess, I'm not too sure what the winch means. It's probably somewhere in the manual, but helideck is pretty self-explanatory. So that's basically 750 boats you can take off from. On top of that, there's 72 new substations. All of these objects have some sort of lighting, dynamic lighting that is, particle effects as well with some of the oil rigs, and a lot of animation. It's pretty cool there. In terms of boats, it includes factory ships, trawlers, container ships, gas boats, oil tankers, fruit juice tankers, livestock carriers, car ferries, dredgers, and a lot more. And in terms of the wind industry, we've got survey vessels, heavy lift vessels, offshore support vessels. I mean, the list goes on. It is really extensive. It's really cool to see. For all those out there that love renewable energy, and to be fair, you all should do, being very eco-friendly on the channel here, we've got plenty of new wind farms from the London Array to North Sea 1. And that's it really. It's a very simple add-on. It is payware and it will be coming out for a price of around €14.50, which I think is a good value deal really if you fly in this area and if you've got an interest in flying helicopters around the North Sea, or even just flying over the North Sea at slightly lower flight levels. It might be for you. It will be released on Thursday the 24th of November, and I have to say, with all of these objects, all of which are pretty nicely crafted, I think that's an absolute steal really. Of course I was sent a copy to take a look at, that's why it's a preview copy. And as I said, I do have an interest in flying around in the North Sea. It's something I do in my day job by not flying around, that would be bloody terrifying, but working with helicopters and their pilots who fly to the North Sea. So it's something I definitely enjoy. And I think, to be fair, I haven't always reviewed Aerosoft products and liked them, but I think this is a really good one, so they've really impressed me here. It's simple, but it's done on a scale where it's really impressive. And that's my takeaway. And my good friends, if that didn't impress you enough, they even provide a little boat that you can go around and sail around the other ships with, or to the oil rigs, which is very cool. And some of those ships as well that's put in, some of them move, some of them don't. So of course as well with the oil rigs there's quite a few animations there. Not everything's animated to the point where it massively impacts your performance, but there's a nice blend to the point where I don't notice any impact on my performance. That may be because of the fact we're flying around in the North Sea, but there's not too much going along anyway. But there's no impact on performance on my system anyway. Of course there's the minimum recommendations that Aerosoft say, but they link pretty much out with Microsoft Flight Sim's system requirements, so no biggie there. For me today that is all. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, it really does mean a lot. I'll see you around guys, have a fantastic day wherever you are, hopefully not on an oil rig in the North Sea. That would be pretty scary I'd imagine, but it's fun on Microsoft Flight Sim. See you guys, bye bye.